Articles of Interest is a podcast about what we wear. It's for people who are passionate about clothes and for people who think they don't care about clothes at all. In our third season, I, Avery Trufelman, will take the plunge into the intricate history of preppy clothes. It's a whole fascinating series of events that turned preppy into, arguably, the great American look. From PRX's Radiotopia, subscribe to Articles of Interest on your favorite podcast app.
You know those times in the day when you can't fit in a full podcast? Running out to the store, walking the dog, or washing the dishes? Jam is the new way to listen when you have just enough time for the perfect short audio playlist. Get started at listentojam.com/podcast and get your daily Jam playlist filled with more voices in less time. With Jam, you can choose from news, parenting tips, wellness advice, and more. Go to listentojam.com/podcast and satisfy your curiosity with short audio. Discover something new every day.
Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician. Cloud. Hey everyone. Before we jump into this episode, we have some very exciting news. January 10, the next cohort of the Restore program is here. And we have put some rocket fuel on this program. We are so excited.
Yes, we are so pumped to bring you a program with weekly, yes, you heard that right, weekly live coaching. And this isn't just random, hey, what's kind of come to our mind, but this is very structured coaching sessions that we feel is vital to your recovery, meaning that we're going to get straight to the root that's holding you back.
Totally. We ran the very first version of this just at the endish of last year, and it went so well. We saw what worked, what didn't. We fine-tuned it, and the feedback was incredible. And I think it's to what you were saying, Ashley, this weekly coaching, it's not just these group calls. It's where we do food reviews for every single person. You'll have 3 food reviews so we can review your diary and give you actual feedback on exactly what you are eating as you move through the program to help make sure you're moving forward, as well as exercise reviews and any kind of advice that you need around that kind of thing. And the coolest part, which we didn't do last time and we're so excited to be adding in, is there will be email and one-on-one call check-in points as well for each client.
Basically, meaning that you're going to have the structure of how to move forward and the support all in one. It's literally the best coaching package you're going to come across. I was joking with Danny, but this might be the greatest bundle in the world. We are bundling all of our services to be the most effective course you could go through and get your period back.
I think that's a really great way to put it, right? We've taken the elements of one-on-one coaching that we do that's so effective and the elements of our community, the HA Society, put it together in one and been okay, here's the community aspect. We're going to do these live coaching sessions, but we have developed an actual syllabus for all of it that we know through all of our experience with all of these clients. We know that these are the fundamental things you need to know, right? And so we've put that in a class with a group and brought one-on-one coaching in to help make sure you're getting the individualization that is extremely important for each person. And it's amazing. It is literally the best bundle in the entire world.
Yes.
So We don't want to keep you from the episode much longer, but we want to prepare you. January 10, the Restore program is opening. There is 100% a spot with your name on it. Because if you're done wasting time, like, right, Ashley, you should just get in these people's ear.
Basically, we don't want you wasting any more time on like something that can be fixed. You're not the unicorn. I hate to tell you that you're not the unicorn. And I don't want you to be the unicorn. Come get your hormones restored, your period restored. And if you want to have a baby, let's do that too. I mean, I can't exactly help you, like,
yeah, we're there.
The process, but we can get you ready. You can get that too.
Yeah. It's like, what is getting your period back worth to you? Is it worth waiting any more? Is it worth continuing to DIY it? Which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to actually get your period back and have it be in the healthy parameters and work hard on your relationship with your body and with food, this program is 100% perfect for you. So come and get the help of both Ashley and myself, both of us, right?
Yes.
Taking you through this program along with everyone else that joins you. Come and do it. Check out thehasociety.com/restore. Sign up for the wait list. Get ready, because Restore is coming and 2023 is going to be your year.
Yes. Excited to see you there.
Nice. All right. On with the show.
How do you hit record?
Never mind. Go ahead. Shotgun it. Go.
Like, Ashley, if I pause, someone has to edit this out. Okay, well, hey everyone, welcome back to the HA podcast. Something different for you guys today. We're taking a pivot out of talking about hormones and entering into a conversation about change and embracing that change, and some really good news about your changing body, which we're going to get to today by way of introducing the amazing Samantha Dawn, who is a certified personal stylist and style coach who helps women lost in themselves find their authentic identity and style. And after years of getting dressed for the comfort of others, Samantha used her education in psychology and styling to learn how to build her confidence and a personal style that truly empowered her to feel like her. Now she helps women all over the globe do the same. We bring to you guys a personal stylist. Hello, Samantha, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, so Ashley found you. Ashley found you on, prior to Ashley finding you, we had a whole conversation. She was like, we need to find a stylist like that can work with our community, because I'm sure, as you've discovered in working with Ashley, we're very protective of our community and what gets put in front of them and what gets touted to them as like fashion. And she found you and she was super pumped, and she recently worked with you and she just like sung your praises. I mean, I should just let her talk about this really.
Yeah, well, so I started looking for style. So yeah, Danny's right. I have been like, Danny, what do you think about this? Just kind of like kicking some things around in my head. And I was like, I refuse to believe that clothes only look good on my old body, my leaner body, and that there's nothing for me in a healthier, bigger body. Right. And so, but I guess I was so turned off by fashion, because I'm not one who's like, my shirt isn't like an art piece, you know what I mean? Like, that's not really my vibe. And then everything else I think that I saw was like a crop top and some wide leg pants. And I'm like, cool, but anybody can do that. And then I needed to find someone who wasn't like, this will make you look slimmer, this makes you look skinnier, all these types of things. And so it really, I couldn't find anybody else. And so I was like, let me check this person out. And so I got on your website, I didn't even have to be like, hey, can you like take this off your website? Not that I would ever do that, but you know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't be a good fit if I had to like change somebody's copy of their website, right? I just knew that they wouldn't be the right person. So that's how I found you and started following you and been just so intrigued. I think the first thing that caught my eye, I was like, oh, this chick brings common sense and some skill, was when you had like this reel that was like, are you looking for something type of fashion, but you're shopping at Old Navy? And I love Old Navy, but I was like, you're right. I bet you I am like, have a vision in my head and I am shopping in the wrong place just to begin with. Never mind my changing body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how did you tell us about you? How did you get into it? Just quickly on how did you create your craft to where you're already like our people, but we haven't met yet.
Yes. Okay. So style, usually when people are a stylist, they usually study it, right? Like they go to school for fashion school and everything. I did not do that at all. I actually was studying to be a therapist. So that's where my background in psychology comes from, was to, to do therapy. And then style has been a part of my life, but for the wrong intentions in the beginning. Like so I grew up as a military child. So I grew up from every 2, 3, 4 years, I would move around and have to adapt to a new environment or a new country. And so adapting became really easy for me. And I became this chameleon. And how I did that was through clothes. So I would like study how people would dress. And I would be like, okay, I need to dress like them in order for me to fit in order for me to belong. And that's usually what people do, especially following trends, for example. You're just conforming to societal standards so that way you can feel like you belong. And so that was my intention. And so fast forward, I got pregnant. And so then I had my son. And then after I had my son, it was just kind of that, who am I? I'm a mom, but I know I'm not just a mom, but none of my clothes fit me anymore. Like, what do I do? Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't need to look cute for anything. Let me just throw on a t-shirt and sweats and just, but then after a while, I just started noticing I would avoid mirrors. I wouldn't take photos with my son. And it just I wasn't feeling good. And I was just not feeling like myself anymore, right? If you're a mom, you totally understand this feeling. You just kind of lose yourself in mommyhood, right? And so then it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I can make 2 choices. I can just sulk and stay like this and hide behind my clothes forever, or I can do something about it and, be this person that I know I have potential of being. I just need help figuring it how, right? So that's when I started looking into getting my certification in personal styling. And so that's what I did, just to get more of that education, because I knew how to put an outfit together. Like I was always that person that people asked for advice for clothes, but I wanted it to make more sense in a way where it was helping me grow as a person, right? Like that inner healing, if you will, is what I'm all about. So really combining those two is what I did with my personal development, figuring out who I am and having my style reflect that. So you know how people say, look good, feel good. I'm definitely that person that's about feeling good, then looking good. So that way you are wearing what reflects of who you are and who you want to be. And so that way you're not relying on that external validation. You're really focusing on that internal validation, especially with body changes, especially with lifestyle changes of motherhood. Like just really navigating that. Style was my way of figuring that out, because you wear clothes every single day. So I wanted to make that choice for myself and to, set the role for my son for getting dressed for yourself, not just for other people. And so I did it, I mastered it. And then I was like, you know what? I cannot be the only person that is feeling this way. And I am such a helping person. Like, I just want to help everybody. You tell me you have a problem, I'm like, give it to me. Like, let me help you solve it. And so that's kind of how it blossomed, or at least how it was born. And then suddenly the power of social media just kind of picked it up, and I've had clients all over the world now that I've helped through this process. And it's just so cool seeing people grow. Like, sure, like their style has improved, which is awesome. I love it. But the real growth is just having them look in the mirror or take photos again and be like, damn, I look good. Or like, you know what? Like, am I allowed to cuss on here? Am I allowed to cuss on this podcast? Okay, perfect. Like, fuck what other people are saying. I don't care what you think. Like, this is me. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. Like, just seeing people go from there after, or go to that place after going through the process that I do with them, it's just gratifying. Like, just like and the older sister that they never had or something, and be like, you go, I got you. So yeah, that's really how it all, in a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah. People can swear on the show because I swear a lot and I don't know how to stop. I don't think I've ever heard Ashley swear. Ashley, have you ever said a swear word?
So I used to swear a lot.
I can't hear it in my head. Like, I can't. Anyway,
So the fact that you don't, okay, well, yay, good for me. So hold on. So there was 2 points. First off, I'm not at the point where I can yet verbally articulate just the transformation I've had with one session with you, but you said 2 things that really, I was like, that's where we intersect, of no longer finding validation from the external, but from the internal. And so for our community, from Danny and I personally, and even our clients, where we have found so much external validation from our body through compliments, just, to the point where like we're cashiers are like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm just trying to, I'm buying my food. To then, like, I never paid attention to style because I was so validated by my body. I never actually, don't think I even developed a personal style, never really thought about it. I think it was only just about showing off my body. So I really never even, some of the basic things that you have taught me so far, and again, we've only had one session, I am like, how did I make it this far? Like, I really, so, and then like you said something about how you do it the other way, that basically how, like, you want our clothes to project how like we feel. So if I feel like I want to be comfortable but relaxed but somewhat cute, a little sporty, that I go into my closet looking for that, rather than how I used to approach my closet of, oh gosh, I have to get dressed. What is there? What do I like? I don't even like anything that's there. Nothing there actually even like fits me. Now I have to choose from that. And so after our first session, I was like, oh yeah, and like, to honor my body, I'm getting rid of every single piece of clothing that does not fit me well, or does not even reflect how I want to show up. And in our session, you never want, so like our first one, so obviously like we'll go to the other ones eventually, but to find my style personality, you never once asked about my body. It was strictly like, how do you want to show up in the world? Like, how do you envision yourself? So can you talk a little bit about why, I think that this is why this makes you so unique and so effective, is because you really take the time to tap into that and how women want to show up. So just like, don't give away all your secrets, but why is that important to you? And like, how does that mold the way, like, how does that separate you from everybody else, really?
Yeah, I mean, when you said it, when you go into your closet, the first thing you go is, oh, I need to get dressed. And it's like, okay, usually when people set up their intention for how they get dressed, it's, where am I going today? Who's gonna be there? Oh, what's the weather like? Like, sure, like those factors, I guess, matter, but like the intention is all external, right? There's nothing of, and that's where you get so flustered and you get into this hamster wheel of, let me put this on. I hate it. Throw it on the floor. Let me try a different outfit. Nope, I hate this too. Throw it on the floor, to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to stay home and just wear what I usually wear, right? So it's just so focused on pleasing an external approval when you don't even know what they want. So you're like setting yourself up for disaster, right? When you can just simply ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? And if it is, I want to feel like a sack of potatoes, by all means, dress like a sack of potatoes. And at least it was your choice, right? You got to choose, like, I want to dress this way. If you're like, you know what? I want to feel on the go. I want to feel excited. I just want to bring like light into my life today. I'm, something like that had happened to me one day where I was feeling really down. I was like, I just need to brighten up. What can I wear that will help me brighten up? I wore like colors, a lot more colors than I usually do. And that like affected how I wanted to feel for the day, which is research studied of how what you wear does affect how you feel, how you act, your behaviors, your moods. And so I feel like I'm going on tangents, but going based off of that really just helps you get more intentional with how you're getting dressed. Because even from when you are from ages when you're born to 3 years old, you already develop a body image, right? Subconsciously. And like the subconscious mind is built from 0 to 7 years old. And usually for girls, especially, no one tells you like, wow, you're so strong. It's always, you look so cute. Oh, I love your outfit. Oh, you're so pretty. Like, we're just built that way. Like, that's just the product of our environments and how we grew up. And so I really like to tap into all of that, because when people are trying to figure out their style, they never focus on the personal parts. It's called personal style for a reason. And the reason why everyone gets so lost in their style is because they only focus on the style part, the external part of the clothes. How do I put an outfit together? What colors go together? And yeah, to an extent that matters, but the personal part is really what everyone forgets about and really dives into. So that way you can actually have a personal style of your own. And so that's what I'd like to do differently than other stylists that I've seen. And because I don't know, it's another way of self-discovery. And I love that self-discovery type of journey. I'm not about being stagnant, and I don't think anybody is. Everybody wants to grow, especially from like a healing standpoint. You just want to figure yourself out, right? And so style was like a really good way of understanding of, oh, this is why I don't do this anymore, because XYZ told me when I was little, I can't wear that. And so it's been ingrained in my system that I can't wear tight clothing. But how I show that on a conscious level is I hide behind my clothes, right? So people don't understand that their subconscious mind has been programmed that way for so long, like decades. And then they have a hard time when they're trying to figure out their style today, because they get so discouraged about everything that they see on social media or the fashion shows or whatever. And so there's this disconnect. But yeah, I feel like that is where I go. I could go on and on, but did I answer your question?
Yeah. Okay. My head is kind of like spinning with directions, and I'm immediately like, okay, I need to implement this into at least like into my work with clients, right? Like, we'll get a lot of people say, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to get dressed. I just keep wearing the same tracksuits. And of course we're like empathetic and compassionate, but now I'm seeing that we can also challenge that, and be like, I'm gonna make you go put a yellow dress on, you know what I mean? Like brighten up.
Yeah.
And that's like the psychology to that, like you're saying, which is really cool to hear.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, when you're hiding behind clothes or you're just refusing to go outside because you don't know what to wear, you're just keeping yourself safe. Your body is trying to keep yourself safe. And that's normal, because when we see things that we fear, we're like, danger, we don't know. Our flight or fight mode just activates. And that's when we go into our safe mode, our comfort zone. And so pushing out of the comfort zone of like maybe wearing a color today versus black, right? Like that's the number one color everyone goes to with color psychology. That's actually a safe color. At least some parts of it is. But yeah, it's just a form to feel safe. At the end of the day is what it is.
Okay, I love it. Yeah. And like Ashley has been playing with this concept all week. We've been chatting a lot about like, so I realized that my body was just like keeping me safe. It was just, I was hiding behind it. I didn't have to like be anything or anyone because I had abs. It was just like a pass. And now a lot of us are faced with like, no, like, who are you really? And like, what do you really like want to wear? And how do you really want to externally express? So I'd love to talk like, I don't know where this is going, if this is like talking fashion or if this is talking mindset.
Yeah.
But like, I think everyone just knows how to dress a thin body because I don't know why, we all just know how to do that. Like for some reason, whatevs. But as our bodies change or become more fluid, right? Because we stop forcing them to be some way that year round, the fear or the challenge here is just like, I don't know how to dress other shapes. I don't know how to dress my shape. And I keep trying to fit this square peg through this round hole. I keep trying on the clothes I used to wear or the clothes that are in the shops, but they don't, like, I don't feel comfortable in them. And that means something is wrong with me. Like that's the path that I go down for sure. Like when I open my wardrobe and things don't fit me, because I'm going through that right now. Things don't fit me that fit me a year ago. And it's just like, I don't know what to buy. Like I'll go buy it, but I don't know what to buy. And I don't know how to figure it out. Like, how do I figure it out?
Yeah. I mean, so this is so much what we were talking about, Ashley, on our last call. So yeah, it's not you, it's your clothes. And that's not how society teaches you, right? And so why it's so important to learn about your body shape and learn about like the cuts and fits that work for you to give you the visual shape that you want is so that way you can look at clothes objectively rather than, oh, this is my fault.
Oh my God, yes, we assign meaning to each item.
Yes, we really do. And we when we don't fit something because it looks good on somebody else, we attack ourselves first. Like we're just like, something's wrong with me. I can't pull it off. When really it's just a lack of knowledge of understanding what your body shape is, right? And for me, how I do this a little differently too than other stylists, but I think you have two body shapes. So I go off of the 5. I keep it real simple. You know, there's fruits, there's shapes everywhere on the internet. I just keep it to the simple 5 shapes of rectangle, round, triangle, inverted triangle, hourglass. But I think most people have 2. So you have your upper half of your body that's different from your bottom half of your body. So you usually are a combo of the 2. Because if you think about it, when you buy sets, for example, like a swimming suit, you can't buy them together anymore. It's usually you buy them separately because someone's top half might be a small and then their bottom half might be a large, or vice versa. And so where I feel like this is where a lack of knowledge again, when we're trying to figure out our shape, is we think we're only one shape, but we're not. we're totally not. And people can be the same shape, but still look different, right? So that's where we also get really caught up in, oh, it looks so good on her. Why can't it look good on me? When we're just not even looking at the shapes. And then to go off on that, so I've worked on sets before for like modeling, like not me doing the modeling, but me like doing modeling for companies. You do not know what we have to do sometimes to make an image look like it is, right? Like when from a audience perspective, it looks like that's what their body shape is, when really it's not. First of all, Photoshop. Second of all, waist trainers, Spanx, people layer that shit on so that way they're slimmer, like clips. So I have in my like style toolbox, when I used to do styling on set, I would clip clothes behind so that it looks more fitted, right? Yeah. So you see that you see that on mannequins too. So when it comes to figuring out, okay, what do I even buy? First of all, don't start there. That's everyone's number one thing, is like, I need to go and buy a whole new wardrobe. And when people are working with me, I'm like, I'm going to stop you right there, because that's That's not where we're going first. We need to do all of the beginning steps first, which is, first of all, what is your style? But even before that, who are you? Like, who are you? Because you can't just, it's like you're trying to do everything backwards. And this is where it ends up into wasted time, wasted money, wasted energy with shopping.
Which is a huge fear. Like I will not go do it because I fear I'm going to just do it wrong and waste all this money. So I like procrastinate on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, so, and let me jump in with this one. So it was so interesting, guys. I'm giving you the scoop. Like we're going to have to come back and like just rehash this whole thing. Rehash my whole session, just like the first one. Cause I'm telling you, oh, so good. But she literally took the time and was like, who do you want to be in 3 years or 2 years? And then like you asked a follow-up question. And I was like, okay, don't give the work answer. Don't give the right answer. Like, be vulnerable with
you
her.
Totally did though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I was like, and
I was like, thanks for the resume. Now let's actually, let me ask, who are you?
Yeah. She was like, thanks for the resume answer, but who are you? And you said something about like, okay, what do you want to be doing in 2 years? And I gave you the work resume about all our HA goals. Like, this is what I want. And then you said something like, how did I want to feel? Or how did I want to show up? And so what she got me to do was to paint this mental image. And I was like, I don't know. I just see myself like smiling. I feel very confident in my skin. Like, I like my skin tone. I don't know. And like, you know what I mean? So it was just this whole thing of self-discovery. I felt like I was like, am I in a personal development class right now? Or am I, like, because like I could feel the vulnerability. It was like high, but it was so good because just like you said, I felt like I would have naturally just been like, okay, yeah, I'm changing my style. I'm gonna buy all this and do that backwards. That same thing that you just said, I would have done it completely backwards. And so to have to start from the beginning of who are you? And then she gave me a mission statement, y'all. So when I get dressed, if it doesn't match this mission statement in some capacity, it's a no-go, because we took an hour diving into how I wanted to show up in the world. Talk about simplify and so much clarity that I'm like, that's not the vibe, guys. I'm very clear about my vibe now. This is how I want to show up. You know what I mean? And it wasn't so rigid that it doesn't take into account that I want to snuggle with Nuggie, but I do want to look cute. You know what I mean? Like, I do want to look a little bit elevated when I'm snuggling with Nuggie and then running out to the store and then jumping on a Zoom call and then, like, you know what I mean? Just doing all the things. I don't know, guys. Yeah. It's so good. But to your point of doing it backwards, Danny and I would be the people doing it backwards.
You're not alone. Most people do. Most people start with the shopping and I'm like, stop, hold the brakes, stop spending the money you don't need to spend. Hold on. Like, when you get to understand who you are more, you get to understand what your style is. And once you get to know what your style is, you get to understand, okay, what kind of cuts and fits do I need to be looking out for from my unique body shape to show up in the way that I want to visually, right? And then once you do that, then you can go into a store. Well, first of all, you need to figure out which stores you're looking at, right? You mentioned it earlier. I had a client who was like, my style's edgy, or I knew her style was edgy. I helped her create it. It was edgy, adventurous. And she was shopping at like Francesca's and Old Navy. And I was like, girlfriend, you are not looking in the right places. It looks like you are trying to make tamales in the Asian aisle. Like, what are you doing? So you need to figure out the stores, but then once you do that, when you actually see the product, you're able to be like, no, that neckline doesn't work for me because I want to elongate my neck. So that's a no. And then, oh, that rise is awesome for my shape. I love how it makes my hips feel for this XYZ reason, right? But notice how it's always like about the clothes, about the shape. Yes, it's not for me. Or yes, it is for me. No, it's not for me. Never once it's about, oh, but it's my body. Like, I can never pull that off. Or, oh, it doesn't look as good on me. It won't look as good on me like it does in the picture. Like, we really push that kind of mindset away and really focus more on like that objective type of for the clothes, because then you've gone through the process. How are we feeling? How do you want to show up? If it's not giving that to you, then it's not for you, and that's okay. Because that will, at the end of the day, will give you so much more intentionality into your wardrobe where it feels like you, it makes you feel good. And it's not wasted time, wasted money, wasted energy. And it's no longer stressing about what to wear for the day. It's okay, this is what I'm wearing. Awesome. I can go live my life without feeling so self-conscious in what I'm wearing.
We have been working with women one-on-one to get their periods back for well over a year, and it's been really effective. We strongly believe that you need a individualized custom recovery protocol that goes across nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, exercise, the whole thing. And we believe in that a lot. We're not really willing to waver from that. But what we have been doing up until now is only offering video-based coaching. And we've been hearing from you guys that that's great, but doesn't work for everyone. So we want to implement this new trial of email-based only coaching. So no scheduling, no Zoom calls. It's all through email. We do a weekly check-in. So you'll send us an email once a week with all of your details, what was working, what's not working. We'll make tweaks and changes to the plan. We'll also get you on track with learning to use the fertility awareness method to track progress. You'll get a customized program. We'll be basically holding your hand through the whole process, and you'll also be able to chat with us as much as you want, or to your assigned coach as much as you need in between these weekly official check-ins. So who is email-based coaching for? It's for anyone who is going through HA recovery, trying to get their period back. It's for anyone who has had a recovery period or 2 or 3 and is looking for help optimizing or getting pregnant or getting back to training and trying to ensure that training isn't getting in the way of their menstrual cycle. We're all about custom goals here, and everyone's an individual and everyone's life is individual. And so we want to work with you to reach whatever goal you have in a way that works with your lifestyle and your mindset, all while helping you to have a solid, healthy relationship with food, with your body, with your exercise. That's our whole mission. So if that's your mission, come and join us. We'd love to work with you at thehasociety.com/coaching. Go there, hit buy now, get started, and I'll immediately send you your intake forms and we can get started with your goals right away. So that's thehasociety.com/coaching.
Right. So, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, right? Like there's a lot of the processes that we have to go through to figure it all out, but it just makes getting ready way more intentional and for you. It's for you. It's not for other people.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, there's one last thing, and then Danny, take over.
Danny's like,
I'm gonna keep talking because I'm so passionate about this. Yeah. You had said something about like elongating like your neck and stuff like that, and you and I had a previous conversation where I'm like, I don't know about this, and you were like, that's because we need the education piece, and it hit me so hard. And I talked to Danny about this, and I was even talking with our community of like, without this basic, I don't know why it's not taught, but thank gosh that you're here. Without this information, the only tool I had was to compare myself to my old body and compare myself to other people. So it wasn't that I wanted to compare. And I feel like a lot of people find themselves in this, like, I just can't stop comparing. And even me, who's done a lot of work in this area, you really have no other choice but to use that tool unless you like work on your toolbox and your education when it comes to your body and your unique style. So I'm really sitting here being like, man, I bet you we're not having as many bad body image days. We're just having like a lack of knowledge that's leading to comparison. You know what I mean? Because we hear all the time, I don't want to compare, but I find myself that I do. And for Danny and I, like when it comes to HA recoveries and stuff like that, like we don't compare because we have the knowledge and the experience of coaching so many people, right? So we have this context where I feel like I had no context, no experience, and no education. So I only had comparing, you know what I mean? And so you spoke on that. I was like, guys, people need to hear that and know that it's not you and it's not your body. It's just a lack of education.
Yeah, the clothes are the problem, not you.
Okay. I'm kind of like itching to just like start my wardrobe again for sure. It's just very like, it's a problem for me.
No, not a problem. It's not a problem. It's just
Okay.
education.
Right?
But you
Isn't
say
your mind spinning? You're like, oh, I get it. Like this is why it doesn't work. I get it now.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Is what I want my style to be different to what my style is?
It could be. So there's a difference between aligning with a style and appreciating a style, right? So when you align with a style, it feels like you, it represents you and how you want to show up. When you appreciate a style, you think it's cute, it looks great, but it's just not you. So let me give you an example. So one of my clients, super trendy is how she was trying to dress. She bought all the things that were on trend because, I mean, when we dug deep, she was just trying to belong into society, right? And then, so those were the styles she was buying, but those were only the styles that she was appreciating. When we got to like really get to know who she was or who she is and how she wants to show up, her style ended up being this boho edgy woman who wants to own a yoga studio. But how she was dressing did not represent that at all. So to answer your question, yeah, it totally could be different if you're appreciating a style and you're trying to make that happen for you because you're trying to like be somebody else with their style versus aligning with the style and have that really be you.
Okay. I think I just appreciate a lot of styles.
And that's okay. That's totally okay.
No, or I'm like afraid of what. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait.
I told you. It's like,
I know, like, and Samantha, I was so just like, I don't know, like, Ashley, you do it and just like tell me how it is. Because I realized that I had to just like have a story that is just like not possible for me. I'm so curious about this psychology piece. What, like, more tidbits, like, what are things that people don't realize, like figuring out first of all, just coming to terms with like, it's not you, it's your clothes. Okay. Once you realize that, what starts to change about, I don't know, like your psychology, like how you see yourself, how you're able to like walk through the world? What do we know about this?
Yeah, I mean, so when we actually don't know a lot about it because a lot of it stems from our childhood growing up and how we're set up to get dressed. Like we always hear this phrase, like you need to dress to impress, AKA you need to dress for other people. My philosophy is like you need to dress to express, dress to how you want to feel, just how you want to show up, right? And so we're not set up in that way. We're not geared, we just weren't geared that way, at least in my experience and the clients that I've had, right? So when you have style standards is what I call them. You have style standards that you've created for yourself subconsciously, but then when you figure out your style and figure out who you are, and once that change starts to transition, your style standards change. Your style standards start to become like, let me just give you an example for one of my clients. One of her old style standards was overdressing is a bad thing. Like overdressing, being overdressed is not okay. It's causing too much attention, when really, when we got down deep, it was her just trying to feel safe and get the approval of others, because that's just how she was grown. She grew up in a family where she had to satisfy the adults in her life. And that's just how she's been dressing to this day until she's working with me. Now the style standard for style is overdressed. Or being overdressed is a bad thing. It's being overdressed is a problem for other people, and that's not my problem. Right. So that the psychology piece is a really just rewiring the subconscious mind of understanding like what are those style standards that you had and that you've been having for decades, and rewiring that, right? So it's really developing a relationship with yourself again. It's really understanding who are you? You're like dating yourself again. I'm like, okay, do we like this? No, maybe we don't. And not just that, but it might not even be that great of a relationship. At least most of my clients and myself, when I was going through this journey at first, my relationship with myself was toxical. Okay, it was toxic. It was bad. I didn't talk kind to myself, and it's something I'm still continuously working on. So it's not just something that you're like, oh, I have my style, I'm great. It's now you have the tools and your mindset to navigate when those thoughts do come in, to pause and be like, is this a reality? Is this actually true? And then you get to choose which direction you want to go. Right. And so what I do with my clients, so I have a group coaching where we do hypnosis. And so we tap deep, there's lots of tears, but like, it's a good thing. And it's just a lot of realizations of how you grew up and how that really shaped how you view yourself and how you view and how that affects how you get dressed, right? Because how you get dressed is really a reflection of how you see yourself, whether it is playing it safe, whether it is you have to feel worthy to show some skin tone or whatever. Like I've heard so many different scenarios, but how you get dressed is a reflection of yourself. So when you do make that transition of figuring out your style, it's more self-centered in a good way, where it's like, this is for me and I feel great about it. And like, that is like, your energy just changes. You're just like, this is me. Wow. Like, where have you been? Right. But, yeah, I feel like did I answer your question? I feel like
you did, because so much of this process that we go through with clients is learning to say F you to these expectations that have been put on my body. This is feeling like a really huge piece.
Yes, I have been. That's why. So after my session with her, she was like, it looks like you need a moment, because it was just hitting me all at once, all the connections. Because like one of the things that we coach our women into doing is like, I know the doctor told you this, and I know your parents aren't agreeing with your weight gain, and I know that you're going against societal norms of gaining weight, and I know that we're breaking all foundations of saying your lean body is not a healthier body. So we're asking them to do this huge like swimming upstream in order to regain their health and learn to stand up for themselves, advocate for themselves, and doing all these things. And so doing that in an uncomfortable body is just dragging. Like that's the visual I get, is like I'm going and I'm moving forward, but I'm not making as much.
To use your like raft analogy, it's like this would give people a much more buoyant
launch.
Yeah, like
the
raft
launch
would be easier. Because also, right, like that, it's so much more complex, and where like your family, for example, right, are like concerned about you because you gained a pound, right? Like, yeah. Because like, I don't know if you know this much about our specific subject matter, Samantha, but you know, when we say gaining weight, like we're not here telling people to become morbidly obese, right? That's not what's happening. We're telling people to go from small bodies to what their body wants them to be for optimal function. And still, you know, we feel really uncomfortable in just that alone. And yeah, because the change is so jarring for people in our life, we get comments, we get concerns. But I truly believe that a lot of that comes from simply because during this process, sometimes we're holding our head low, we're hunching, we're hiding behind tracksuit pants, and we're, you know, if you gained some weight, but you were like so much more alive and vivacious and like, you know, dressing in your best style, like people aren't going to say anything, right? Like people are going to be like, you look great. We're associating the weight gain and how we're walking through the world and presenting, we're associating them together to be one and the same and saying you're being unhealthy. But like, really think about it. If you gain some weight, but you're like rocking it and like super loving your
Yes. So that is where I was like, so this whole came up because I was like, Danny and I do pretty well with like body image and stuff like that. And so I didn't feel the need to bring on a body image like counselor per se. I didn't, you know what I mean? However, I think it's ironic that I found you and you are a psychologist. So
I'm not a psychologist. I'm not licensed.
No,
but
you're not licensed. You studied it. You studied it. Edit, everybody. She is not a psychologist. Don't sue any of us. We're not liable for it. Okay, moving on. But I think we found somebody who you don't just understand clothes, you understand people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the thing of like, I didn't want to just bring on someone to work on our body image alone. I needed somebody who was like, here's the practical steps, because it just cannot continue to be like working on the mental. And of course, Danny and I, that is our jam, but we needed to find somebody who is like, yes, but here's that's great. Because here's the thing, I'll get some clients to get really, really far and they feel great about themselves. And then they put on a pair of pants. And I'm like, I don't think it's you. I think it's your pants, but I'm not trained in that. So that's where I was like, I need a practical step to this. So Danny's having her own realization.
I know. I'm like, Danny, are you okay?
I'm just so bothered right now at these like memory, like I'm having flashbacks to sessions where they're saying like, I'm not comfortable in any of my pants. And I'm just like, I hear you, but now I want to go back and just be like, it's the pants.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have said that in different words. I've been like, well, we do tend to just like we do tend to just wear something that doesn't dig in that way. Like, but I feel like I want to go back and like hop on this point better.
Well, that and you know what, your shape may have changed. That is reality, and we cannot continue to ignore it as if it hasn't happened. And so it no longer serves you to keep shoving in your old pants. No longer serves you to pretend like your shape is like your old shape. But serves you is to figure out what your shape is and then how to dress it and I love what she said, aligned. It's a style that's aligned with you. You know what I mean? And so that's why I had to find her, guys, because I needed an actionable step to like pair with our peoples and be like, here, this is what I think your next step is. This is worth the investment because you wear clothes every single day. And how you feel is how you're going to navigate your day. Like, this matters.
Yes. Like we can't control our feelings each day, but you can control how you get dressed each day. And if there's research studies that show that how you get dressed can impact your moods and your behaviors and your actions, why wouldn't you take the route to dress in a way that makes you like empowered to help you show up, right?
I love it. I want to be super respectful of your time and the fact that, we spent 9 minutes prior to this.
It's okay.
Like trying to figure out my background. Can you obviously, like Ashley said, we don't want to like, don't give away all your secrets, but is there like give the people something, right? We're listening to this. We're all feeling pumped. We all want to go into our wardrobe, whatever, right now and like do something to like get that win. Do you have anything for us?
Yes,
be a magician.
Now go dance.
Okay, all your goal clothes, donate them. Actionable step right there. All your goal clothes that you were holding in your wardrobe, get rid of them. Dress for the body that you have now. because the second you keep holding on those clothes and you're like, I'm going to lose the weight, or I'm going to eventually fit into those, you're attaching your worth to a size. And you need to not do that, because first of all, there's no universal sizing anywhere. Like there's just non-existent. So when you're attaching your size into like your size of your clothing, you're letting that little letter or number dictate your worth. So when you get rid of those clothes and you adjust for the body you have now, you're not as susceptible to do that to yourself. So if there's one action step you can take, it's to do that. Donate it, consign it, resell it. I don't care. Just get rid of it out of your sight.
Yeah.
As far as to like, if it doesn't even fit me right, I'm over it. I'm done. Like, you no longer serve me. We are breaking up.
Exactly.
Exactly. Not even like a goal clothing, but like, so like for our community, like if you have bought in clothes just to put on your body and and it's not serving you,
get rid of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was like in the last week of our restore program, it is a big piece is that exact thing. It's like throw away the jeans that don't fit, right? And it's like the simplest exercise in the whole 10 weeks. And it has the biggest effect.
Yeah.
For sure, hands down, is like get rid of it so that you can start afresh and now dive into like like learning about this stuff. And where somewhere, right? Because like I'm gonna do what Ashley's doing, and I'm gonna like get you to kind of like help me give me the answers. But where might someone start trying to learn about dressing for their body?
Yeah. I mean, just in general or with me?
Yeah, like I telling you right now, if I even want to like dip my toe in, right? Because it's like a lot of us are going to be like, hell yeah, give me the stylist. And a lot of the rest of us, honestly, me most of the time is like, let me learn about this.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you have a blog or something, like, where can I go?
But there was something that you said earlier and I wanted to piggyback off of it and then it just escaped my mind. Wait, hold on. Okay, before I go into that, so before I gave you guys like a tangible thing to do, right? Or an intangible thing, it's to write down your 5 style standards that you're currently holding yourself to. Write those style standards of what you're holding yourself to. And journal about it. Like once you do that, journal about it, write how it makes you feel, how's it showing up in your life. And that will really help navigate where exactly is the disconnect with you figuring out your style.
Oh my God, Ashley, it's like the food and exercise audit.
I didn't even think I had style standards. So I'm not even functioning. So I'm like, oh gosh, I'm sure I have them.
Oh yeah.
We all do.
But I think I actually need help figuring it out. So I don't know, y'all, I hired her. So like, we gonna figure this out. I'm gonna get some counseling around this. But yeah.
Yes, I love it.
That's a great actionable step regardless.
So I actually like that answer better than like whatever I was expecting for my question, because I do think that if you can write those things down, because it's like it was kind of like an impossible question, like is there like how to dress for my style.com, you know what I mean? Like that's better, because once you can, so we do this with food and exercise in our program. We do like, what are the standards you're holding on to? Now they're all bullshit. Like let's like look at shit for what it really is. And so this is so similar, because I could be like, the standard is that I can't wear shorts because my thighs touch or something like that. And just start kind of breaking down those rules and then looking at them for what they are. And I feel like then I'm a step closer to being able to go shopping. Because I'm...
Danny, hold on. Stop thinking about shopping.
Like a
step
closer.
Thinking
about you know what? I'm actually curious about why you keep saying that. Are you telling me like the answers are already in my wardrobe? Like, what is this? What is this don't go shopping thing?
It's because like everyone is always like, I need to just get new clothes and it'll solve my problem right away. But you haven't even figured out, okay, how do you want to show up? Who are you? What is your shape? And
Well, that's why I said one step closer.
Okay. You just
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
Because I can hear that there are steps in between before we go shopping.
Yeah.
But like, yes, one of the first things you need to do is like figure out
the personal parts before the style parts.
Well, I needed that because I'm already too excited to go shopping, as if that is going to solve all my problems. So
I mean, I love the restraint. I love the restraint that you have to have. It's like, I gotta get through my program.
Yeah, no, like you don't get to skip this deep stuff and just go buy clothes to fix it. Oh my gosh. Okay, Danny, let's tell them about how they can find her mini session that she is exclusively doing for our HA Society listeners and members, and where we can find them. Like, I'm sure we'll tag it all in the show notes and stuff like that. But
do you want me to answer that last question though? Because I totally didn't answer it.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
About like where to like start. So I guess it's hard to find like a specific place to figure out, okay, what's my body shape and what, because everybody has their own little spin-off of it, right? And it's not personalized or customized to you, which is also hard and it gets really overwhelming. So a place to also start too is, especially with social media, like who are you following? Like that can really have a really big impact too of how you're getting dressed, or like if you're trying to like, if you align with someone's style, not just appreciate it, you align with them, you can actually have someone to role model it for you, right? So I don't have like a specific website or a specific place to figure out like what your body shape is and what cuts and fits to that work for your body shape, because the way I teach it, no one teaches it the way that I teach it. So, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like, that's just the way I understand it. And so that's how I teach it versus someone else. Like I have a colleague who doesn't believe in body types. And then I have another colleague who's just like, you have to do it this certain way and you only have one body type. So like, there's so many different ways to like figure it out, quote unquote, I guess. But it's, I guess, like one way to figure it out, to have at least to visually see it, is who are you following on social media to help you with that image so you can visually see it, that at least it's possible for you, you know?
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
My gosh. I was like trying to unmute myself whilst looking for this link. Okay. So that makes perfect sense. There are different styles for different people. You're definitely our person. So I really am so psyched about that. So that link is in the show notes. I'm currently pasting it into our Asana to make sure that we do not miss putting it in the show notes. So it will be in the show notes because it's a solid link. It's like bysamanthaDawn.com/bookings-checkout/style-discover, etc. So
a little link.
So I'm gonna put it in there. And y'all, look, this isn't a sponsored episode or anything like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, we're just saying, like, go, if this is something you want to do, go and do it, because there's a lot of us struggling with it. And I'm gonna book in, and I'm gonna share I have a YouTube, Samantha. So I'm gonna share about the process through the YouTube. Just so people can like marinate on this, what part of style and is fashion, what role is that playing for you in recovery, and what role could it play if you focused on it? I love that. This has been super enlightening and really exciting for us. So we thank you for coming on. And where can people find more about you as well?
Yeah, so my Instagram and TikTok is usually where I'm at, posting all types of tips and tricks. It's at by Samantha Dawn. And then my website is also www.bysamanthadawn.com. And then I'm doing something super special for the HA community, where I'm just doing, like, if you're not ready for like the full thing, if you're not ready to commit to the full program or whatever, then I'm doing a style discovery mini session where we just get to chat for an hour and really figure out, okay, who are you and what's your style? Let's just get really, really to the foundation and the basics, the foundational pieces of it. Because just in that session alone, I mean, I feel like Ashley can speak to this. You're going to discover a lot about yourself and like the style direction that you're going towards. So that will at least help you in terms of like the vision. So that way you're at least being led into the right direction. You're not just, I'm just going to buy all the clothes and see what works and what doesn't. So I will help you navigate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to post it in the HA Society. So all our peeps, be ready for us to drop that in. And I'll make an announcement for that so that people can find you. Yeah, we're really excited.
So good. Yeah. Okay. So the link to that mini styling session is in the show notes. All right, guys. This is awesome. Samantha, thank you. Cannot wait to meet with you again. Awesome. Everyone have a really great evening.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women.
Articles of Interest is a podcast about what we wear. It's for people who are passionate about clothes and for people who think they don't care about clothes at all. In our third season, I, Avery Trufelman, will take the plunge into the intricate history of preppy clothes. It's a whole fascinating series of events that turned preppy into, arguably, the great American look. From PRX's Radiotopia, subscribe to Articles of Interest on your favorite podcast app.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $300 off accessories when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread. Choose from a variety of accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate monitor, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends November 28th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer starts November 14th and ends November 28th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.